Here we are in the Earthship greenhouse. It's Saturday, April 7th? Yeah, April 7th. We're in 2018. Looking out the window here of the greenhouse. We've got some birds. Well, a bird right there, but it invited some bird friends. But they're just munching on the grain that I spread out there. That's been a little bit where my time has been lately. Since I haven't been posting any videos, been very busy. Been doing terracing along with partner and friend Luke, helping out. But we've started digging terracing down the hillside here. And yeah, I've got compost and I've got brewer's grain spread in there. Oh, and there's the cat, probably gonna try and go get the bird. But we are in the greenhouse here. It's a little bit of a mess, but that's what happens in mid-construction. So this will hopefully all actually be cemented and done by the end of summer. And by this next winter, I'm pretty excited actually. It will be, I think, a hell of a lot warmer inside the Earthship, because we'll be finishing the roof and stuff like that and insulating more and stuff. But then we'll have our stove moved out here for cooking and all the other stuff, kitchen area and whatnot, all made up, shower area, all made up. So it'll be awesome. I'm pretty excited. So this will be a good summer. It's definitely kind of the winter's kind of carried on out here, and I think it's kind of been that way a little bit in Minnesota. Maybe you guys are already melted off. I haven't looked at your weather. I just pay attention more to Montana weather. But sunshine out. It's 63.3 degrees. You probably can't see that. I can zoom in a little bit. You can't see. I don't want to walk over there anyway. We're gonna talk over here. You heard the running water. I don't think I posted a video. So this is episode 4. I don't think I posted a video on episode 3, or did I? I'm kind of spacing out. Sorry. A lot of things on my mind, and just I had a Red Bull too, so I'm a little amped up. But yeah, the gutter's up. See, there's our little drain spout. We do have a little bit of drips, but that's just from the ice that has dangled off the side of the gutter. So there's a lot of ice. It's hard to see off the glare, but there's ice sitting in the gutter. It's just melting out there. We're getting full sunshine today. There's a little bit of cloud, but we got sun today. And all the snow we got the last couple days is now melting off of our roof. And you can see we got a nice steady stream going into this barrel now. We got a 55-gallon barrel in here just because of all the water that we've been getting. The bucket was fine over there. I had a bucket set up and I didn't have all this set up here. But the bucket setup was it was getting out of control. I was waking up in the morning, that thing was just overflowing with water. So I had to drag this barrel in. But even still, we're just getting still more water. And I'll definitely show more videos on just the amount of water we're getting. But it's kind of ridiculous, and it's awesome at the same time. But I mean, this barrel, I've emptied this barrel at least almost a dozen times now in the last probably at least 2 or 3 weeks. So a lot of water. And it's been kind of tricky because I don't have the cistern all the way set up. I need to try. I'm just working and paying bills, life, all that. But we'll have that other tarp, and then I'll have this pretty much going the opposite way. This will go the opposite way, like flip this over, and then it'll drain into the cistern, kind of like it's doing in the barrel a little bit. So if you kind of get that idea, I'm going to cut that down so it's a little bit shorter, and it's going to hug the wall a little bit more, and drain into the cistern. But yeah, it's been pretty hard to figure out what to do with all the damn water, to be honest, because I'm finishing up the biofilter here, just doing some silicone caulking, touch-up work and whatnot, and then it should be good to go. We'll be ready to filter water. But yeah, I mean, I've been filling up our jugs and the water heater tank in the inside, attached to the stove in the earthship. But that's only 3 gallons, and then I mean we fill our wash bucket, which is probably about 4 gallons. And yeah, I've actually been trying to empty this barrel so I can kind of move it, so I can actually kind of get the shower set up a little bit, and then maybe we can actually start using some of this water to actually shower. Because yeah, there's a lot of water. I mean, we could be taking 5-gallon showers, and that's the other thing is the water won't be wasted because we'll still be able to water our plants. Like, even if we only have water just for ourselves, it'll still be gray water to water the plants and everything else we kind of got going on in here. So I grabbed a couple new plants and some clones over from Stacy. I got a purple wandering Jew, kind of a funny name. I picked that up at Planet Natural like a couple years ago, and Stacy kept it going after I left the Manhattan house, and mine kind of died off from sitting outside and getting cold. Sorry to the plant. But yeah, and then I don't know the name of that other purple plant, but it does the same thing like that wandering Jew. It's like a ground cover, so it's going to turn into a big bush. That's like a big vine plant, so that'll stretch out eventually, and my plan is to just like trellis it, you know, everywhere along the whole window side of the greenhouse here. And then I don't know the name of that tree either. I forget what it is, but that thing will get pretty big. That'll stay. These will kind of stay in pots. I don't want those in the bed. We're gonna mainly do like vegetable, or yeah, a little bit of vegetables, but like mainly fruit in this bed, just because it's the greenhouse bed. We'll be able to keep the temperature and stuff in here year round, as opposed to outside. Yeah, that'll be a lot for vegetables and whatnot. So, because we can definitely grow a lot, especially with all these terraces. Yeah, the plan is to dig terraces all along this whole south side of the hill, essentially. I've been doing a lot of researching and just like studying on some stuff, and this was actually kind of an ancient Chinese, or I don't know if it's an ancient Chinese practice, but this is something that the Chinese were doing. I don't even know exact dates, but you know, pre-1800s and stuff like that. And it was mainly meant for grazing lands that had been essentially overgrazed, and also farmland that had just been overfarmed too as well. And the advantage to it is because partially out here on this land, a lot of reason why it is so arid and dry is because the ground just can't penetrate, or the rain can't penetrate the ground. So there's hardly ever any moisture, and all of it runs down the hill. So that's why you'll see out here most of the crevices. You kind of see over there all these little crevices and dips and stuff in the hills and stuff. That's where all the nutrients and all the main water is running to. So that's why there's an abundance of plant life and stuff that's sprung up there. And that's why you see over here it's just barren. And part of that is because a lot of this has been farmed. So that's a big thing, and it's been traditionally, or convention. I actually want to start saying conventional farming instead of traditional farming. It's not traditional because the ancients didn't practice this kind of farming. So the conventional way of farming has essentially eroded and taken away a lot of organic matter out of the soil, and it's left a lot of these places super bare. Lack of moisture and water penetration into the soil doesn't allow for a lot of this hillside to even get moisture, even though a lot of it runs off. I'm rambling, but yeah, a big thing with these terraces is that now, instead of the water running down the hill and just draining away, we're going to build a dam down along our property line there, down at the bottom of the hill, because all that water will drain down, for one, and it'll be some years before it actually starts stacking up and actually becoming a pond, and essentially almost a miniature lake. you know, probably in 10 years or something if we were to get on this, which I am trying to do right now. So, but yeah, the benefit of the terraces is basically the water that's going to penetrate now the soil, anything that's not used by plants and whatnot, is essentially going to irrigate down the hill, and it'll penetrate a lot of these other terraces as well and give them moisture on top of it. So that's kind of the benefit, is that the tops, it just keeps feeding the bottom, and over the weeks and the months and kind of the years, the water that eventually seeps down to it'll seep down to the bottom, and that's where we'll essentially create our artificial lake with a dam. So that's kind of the cool thing that I've been working on and trying to implement in the last couple weeks. Especially since it's been kind of on-off warm weather. You know, we're transitioning, obviously, so it's been the on-off, and it's nice because the sun just hits this whole south side really nice, so it's always the first to melt off really quick, like as opposed to anywhere else on the land, honestly. Well, considering the other south side hillsides, but yeah, it's thought out enough where I've been able to dig the almost the past month and a half basically outside, you know, when the sun's out and it's nice out. I don't like being out there when it's super muggy, but yeah, kind of trailing back here. Yeah, I got the biofilter. That's just about finished up, like I was saying. The silicone is drying, and it is essentially kind of like our prototype bucket, but it does the job pretty well, I think. It just needed new sand, so I was using a lot of this water before to clean the sand, and now that I'm done cleaning the sand, I'm having trouble figuring out what to do with all this extra water, basically. So I'm trying to get the biofilter done so we can actually filter a lot of the water and actually start drinking it and using it for showering, brushing our teeth, and stuff like that. So that'll be the plus to look forward to. I'll actually go outside in a second maybe and show you a little bit, because I'm about to talk about the rocket stove here, and what I've been doing with it, and other things. I've got some test buckets that I'm doing here. I've got a bucket over there with some of our compost from last year. And I've gone ahead and mixed in some store-bought mycorrhiza inoculate. So the plan is to hopefully breed my own mycorrhiza fungi for the beds and stuff like that. I shouldn't really get into too much of this. This is for Oasis Organics, so I'll do I promise that'll be really soon here. So but yeah, I got another bucket. I'm doing some EM1. But yeah, look out for Oasis Organics. I know I keep saying that, but I'll definitely get on that now that we actually have some things kind of growing. It's been a little bit warmer. I'll talk about just all the disadvantages and stuff and why everything kind of is the way it is. So I'll get into that. But onto the rocket stove. I got the rocket stove going. I've been getting this going here since this morning. It's pretty easy to stoke. So when I did fencing last year during the summer, all this scrap wood, this was pieces that we cut off to make the fence and stuff like that. I took a lot of it home. I wish I could have taken more. There was a huge pile of it. I mean, it would have been just as big as like the earthship as a pile of wood. So I wish I would have taken that. But yeah, I split it all up into all this stuff and all these little sticks and whatnot. But the way that I have it, the center blocks here, it's perfect because I can just jam this thing full. I'll just jam this thing full. This thing just kicks. And, you know, I had someone kind of discredit a little bit and say, oh, watch out, you know, on how you do that or whatever. But, you know, I don't think he really understood that I kind of know what I'm talking about most of the time. And I do my homework. So, boy, I got this thing stoked. This thing is full of wood. I can't put any more in. This thing's going. This thing has unbelievable suction. I mean, even without the fire even going, when you first start it up, I basically just put a bunch of cardboard right in the front and paper, and I light it. And because of the suction already in there, the flame just gets sucked in and it ignites all this wood, so it's super easy to start the stove. And I don't have to stick, you know, paper or anything way in there. I don't have to reach way in there, so it's pretty cool. And our other stove inside the Earthship will be a little bit easier just because there's more space. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how that'll work. But it'll definitely be a hell of a lot warmer. Nico will be happy because she can cook on it and stuff. There'll be extra space for cooking and heating water and whatnot. Debating which side. I have my friend Luke has a food grade metal barrel that had like blackberries in it or something like that, something yummy. that I want to bring up to hook up, and then essentially we'll have a big barrel for hot water, kind of for whatever we need. You know, more so during the winter time, because that's when we'll be doing a lot more. You know, cooking on the stove, having the fire going, all that stuff. But I think for the most part, yeah, when I go outside, I'll talk a little bit. This will be an extended video, I think. So I hope no one gets bored of me talking. I hope I at least got a little bit of excitement in my voice and what I'm talking about, even though I have a little bit of a monotone voice. But, yeah, I mean, listen to this thing. Just going. Thing's just kicking. I mean, this thing just kicks out heat. That barrel's awesome. So that's what's going on in here. I've kind of laid some plastic down and some straw kind of for natural insulation. I'm going to lay some more down, I think. But I haven't decided. Maybe I might put some rigid insulation. I'm not sure. It's kind of spendy stuff, but we'll see. But everything's getting work done. We're going to start soon actually bringing bags of cement up, so we'll actually be able to utilize a little bit more of that water. You know, it's just kind of the standstill period. You know, it gets dry. We were ready a couple days ago, ready to drive up because it had been dry and had been sunny, you know, the last week and a half. And then the very next day, ready to drive up. Yeah, you know, the next day it snowed. So, and we got like a good couple inches. So it's like, oh, I guess scrap that idea. We still gotta park at the bottom of the hill. We're still hiking up. You know, it's whatever. 24/7 gym. It's open every day, free of charge. No key card entry required. No paperwork. So, good cardio, good weightlifting. Good for the legs. Yeah, this is kind of what's going on in here. It's about 65 degrees now. I kind of have the stove going, and I got the sunshine starting to beat down a little bit more. So I'll probably let that stove go out for a minute, and I'll probably start it up later tonight. But while it's going, actually, I wanna quick go outside and we'll talk about that. So hold on. All right, we're outside. We are at the top of the roof off the greenhouse. Obviously, the Earthship itself, we still have that to work on. So that's what I'm saying. It'll be a lot better next winter because we'll have the insulation done and all that. But I don't know if you can really see it on camera. I think it's hard to see, actually, but I can see it a little bit. You know, that thing is going, and look how much is coming out of that pipe. Barely anything. You know, think about all these regular stoves and furnaces and stuff. They just have that one pipe that goes out. We have that pipe that goes to the barrel, hits the barrel because of the rocket effect. It's helping burn all the extra gases. And then look, you know, our end result is pretty much heat, water vapor, and maybe a little bit of carbon dioxide. I think this is a really good idea, you know, just for, you know, what's coming out. You know, we have a fire going. I don't think I mentioned that those planks I can either get about 4 or 5 little stick pieces out of them, but I kind of calculated when I was burning about a month ago, and even when it was cold and I was just pumping that thing full of wood, basically I calculated that I was burning about 3 or 2.5 to 3 of those planks an hour. And those planks are super thin. They're probably about maybe a ½ inch, and they're, you know, super dry and porous. It's just fencing wood, just fencing planks, you know. So I don't know how good that is, but to me it seems pretty damn good. You know, 3 of those planks on a regular stove. You know, they'd probably last you the hour, but I don't know. I think most people like to crank those stoves up pretty good, and heats up that greenhouse, I think, pretty well as well. But I don't know. Overall, look what is coming out of my stovepipe. You know, nothing. So that's part of the Oasis way, is we're trying to sustain, renew, rejuvenate, and cut our carbon footprint, you know, in smart, logical ways. You know, if we're gonna burn wood, let's try and do it as efficiently as we can, and without emitting as many pollutants as we can, because obviously there's if the weather doesn't seem different to you, I don't know what to tell you. I think a lot of people would have to beg to differ. Something going on with the climate. So whether it's good or bad, I think it's more, it's bad. But let's talk about the moving on. So I started hacking out the more of the hillside here, since it's been warm and whatnot. But yeah, essentially this will be a nice little patio area. This might end up being just another Earthship edition with another greenhouse attached to it, and we'll have a tunnel attached to the Earthship or something. I don't know. Who knows? It'll be a good patio area. We can cook out, hang out, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you remember the water that's coming in on the inside, look at the snow we still have on the roof to catch, or for it all to melt off, basically. I mean, this sun is just beating down, so all this should probably melt by the end of the day. But yeah, it'll fill that barrel up again. I'll empty it. It'll probably fill it up, you know, at least halfway again. So if not all completely full, and I'll have to empty it again. But yeah, this has been an extended clip of Oasis Organics. Well, no, I said that wrong. This has been a clip for the Oasis Earthship, and maybe I'll get my script together a little bit better next video. But this has been an extended clip. Hope you all didn't get bored. Oh man, I can't, before we go, sorry. Yeah, I'll get my script right then after I talk about this. So the block wall, I actually got this block wall built up. Here, I'll run down to it quick. Yep, super extended here. Yeah, the last week when it was nice, I started working on this block wall, and it'll essentially be a retaining wall. And I got a little bit more blocks, so I think I'll be able to come up maybe 1 or 2 more stacks. But that should be pretty high. Yeah, I'm kind of almost about where that block is. What is that? 3, 4. That's 5 blocks high. So maybe 4 blocks high. So that bottom one, I think, is about how many blocks I think I might have for all that. But that'll be nice, because all that will be tamped with dirt on the inside. I'll put some rebar stakes in too, I think, in a couple spots. But this will help with all the extra berming and stuff that we'll do, because I want to do more berming against the wall and just overall against the Earthship and stuff, so we can just make a huge freaking mound, and that'll just insulate the tires a hell of a lot more as well. So pretty excited. Needs to stop snowing because I'm ready to get some work done. Well, it's nice out today, so I'm actually going to start doing more work on the terraces. But this has been I think this is episode 4 now, maybe, or episode 5. I don't know. I'll look on the page, but here. stay tuned for another episode. And this has been Brandon at the Oasis Earthship on this beautiful Saturday. Birds chirping, snow over there.